Good morning. It has been a hot minute since I have picked up a camera. So if this is a very choppy video, I am so sorry. It's June. I have not picked up the camera since February. But if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lauren. I make lifestyle and Disney vlogs. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. In today's vlog, I don't know if you could tell from the thumbnail, but I have a major life update. We're pregnant. And when I picked up this camera last, it was actually for when I found out we were pregnant. So let's roll that clip here. Holy. Holy. So yeah, today as I'm filming, it's Saturday. I am 21 weeks. On Monday, I'll be 22 weeks, and I want to talk about the whole experience thus far. And ignore me on my phone. I have just notes because I've been keeping track. So, how we found out is my first bullet point. I was sitting at work and I felt some movement down there, like some gassy movement, just to clarify. And I was like, okay. This Saturday, before we found out, my brother and his wife told us they were expecting, and we were very excited about that. So they're 7 weeks ahead of us. And we found out the Tuesday, the day after President's Day, that we were pregnant. So felt that gassy movement, and I was like, okay, well, I'm late on my cycle, so either we're pregnant or something's wrong and I need to go to the ER. So I left work, I grabbed a cup, went to Walgreens, grabbed a test, came back to work, took the test in the work bathroom, and that test turned positive so fast. I did two of them. I did the basic one, and then I did the digital one where it says pregnant or not pregnant. And the basic one turned positive so fast, I didn't even have my pants back up. So found out on a Tuesday. Came home from bingo, and I woke Steve up, and I was like, "Hey, babe, like, you need to wake me up in the morning. Like, just wake me up in the morning." And he's like, "Okay," like fighting me about it. And I'm like, "Go back to bed. Just wake me up when you get up." And he's like, "Are we pregnant?" And I was like, well, yeah, this is how I'm going to tell you that we're pregnant. So I told him at like midnight, or it was probably 10:30, 11, that we were pregnant. And then he woke me up the next morning and I showed him the test. And yeah, so we are due in October, which is pretty exciting. Um, my next bullet point is that we just booked a Disney trip before we found out we were pregnant. And I remember being frustrated because it was hard to put this trip together, like just resort wise. And I could not understand why it was so hard. Like, every time I went to go tell our travel agent through my job, like, this is where we want to stay, the resort would be unavailable. And then I was like, okay, let me go back to the drawing board, pick another resort. And that resort wasn't available. And I was like, what the heck? Like, this should not be this hard. Well, here I'm not a religious person, and I feel bad kind of saying this because I feel bad like being a fraud. I feel like a fraud whenever I reference religion in anything in my life. But I felt like this was God telling me, like, no, girl, you ain't going to Disney. You got other plans. And it was just like, okay, well, this makes sense on why this was so difficult. So we literally had just booked our trip. I waited until we were in the clear to cancel our trip because we have miscarried in the past. And I didn't want to cancel something that didn't need to be canceled if there was a chance we were going to miscarry. Sorry, I got to go back to my notes to see. So I just told myself, like, wait, let's get through all like the the necessary appointments. Let's make it through the clear and then cancel the trip then. So canceled the trip, and we're going to postpone it for next fall. And hopefully with our little Peanut is what I've been calling it. Peanut. I've been calling this baby nicknames because we are not getting along. Hopefully it'll be like a nice first birthday celebration kind of thing. So next on my bullet point is we don't know the gender. So it is going to be a 40-week surprise. Steve said it's the one true surprise you get in life. And I was like, well, when you put it like that, like, yeah. So we don't know the gender. We did the NIP test and the results are in that test, but we did not open those test results. I actually called my OB office and I was like, hey, I know the gender's in this, but I can't open it. So can you go through the test results with me? And so they're nice and they went through the test results, and then that's when we figured out, like, then we have a healthy bundle of joy. So it's going to be a 40-week surprise. People have been giving us their opinion on what we're having, which has been nice. Some people, because I've been so sick, they're like, oh, well, you're having a girl because they're going to steal your looks and make you sick. And then parts of me is like, okay, well, I think we're having a boy because I honestly, I don't know what we're having because I show symptoms for both sexes. Like my sister-in-law was so sick too, and my brother and sister-in-law are having a boy. So who knows what we're having, but we do have names picked out for both. So my first trimester, it's been so fun. Whoever said, if you ever hear someone who says that their first trimester was amazing, they're lying. Because my first trimester was hell. And it's still been rough in my second trimester, but it's been a little better. I was throwing up every day from the middle of February to pretty much the middle of May. Literally every day. And it got to the point where I became numb because I was throwing up so much. And it got to the point when I do throw up, I'm excited if I don't pee myself at the same time, because it's just, oh, that happens. Cool. So we waited to tell my parents until Easter. Because again, we wanted my brother and sister-in-law to enjoy their moment, have their moment, and we didn't want to take away from them. So we hid it from my parents until Easter. So in my car, I had this like throw up prep bag, and I was trying to hide it from my mom as much as possible because I would have to hang up with her and then throw up. And I remember like swallowing it some nights because I talked to her on my way home from bingo every week. And I'm like, oh, gotta go. And I would throw up. And so I have literally, it's in a Disney cruise bag in my front seat. But I have throw up bags, tissues, wipes, extra change of clothes, hand wipes. I went and got Pampers because I was just going through wipes so much. But I literally have a throw up prep bag that has everything I would need when I get sick, because I've thrown up driving, which I do not recommend. Like literally in the middle of driving, holding the throw up bag. That was scary. I've thrown up on 95, driving on 695. I've thrown up on a random farm. I almost threw up on my sister-in-law's parents' front yard. I've thrown up in my parents' front yard. I've thrown up in front of our apartment building. I've thrown up at work. You name it, I've probably thrown up there. I've thrown up at bingo. The first trimester and getting sick, oh. So Steve and I joke, and I'm serious about it. This kid's first chores, whenever they can do chores, is cleaning the bathroom because of how much they've made me sick. So, the end of March, I have a blood clot disorder called factor V Leiden mutation, if I'm saying that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But basically, the extra estrogen from birth control caused me a massive blood clot, a DVT, in 2020. So ever since then, I've been on blood thinners, and I'll be on blood thinners for the rest of my life. So the extra estrogen from that birth control caused that. And then on, it was opening day, or the week of Orioles opening day, a blood clot in your calf feels like a Charlie horse that won't release. So I started feeling this cramping in my calf, and I was like, okay, like, this isn't normal, but I was also getting Charlie horses at the same time. So I was like, okay, like, let me give it a couple days, and if it doesn't feel any better, I'm going to call my hematologist, and we're going to take care of this, get an ultrasound and all that fun stuff. Well, it was opening day. I had it. And I was like, you know what? Calling the OB office, we're going to get an ultrasound, because if this is a blood clot, we need to take care of it now. And well, it was. So I caught this blood clot really early, and I'm very proud of myself for that. And so for my blood thinner, because Xarelto is not safe to take while you're pregnant, they've moved me to Lovenox. So Lovenox was a shot I've been taking for the last year, ever since we miscarried, just because I don't want to go through a miscarriage again. I don't wish that on anybody. But I think Xarelto caused our miscarriage. And also, when we got pregnant the first time, we weren't trying. It was like, oh, that's how that kind of works, kind of thing. And so as fast as we found out we were pregnant is as fast as we miscarried. And so I stayed on Xarelto for the last year, just in case it happens again, because, whoo, those hormones are rough. So my hematologist has doubled my Lovenox. So instead of taking 40 milligrams once a day, I have to do 90 milligrams twice a day. So if you could see my stomach right now, it's all bruised up. So I do one side in the morning, Steve does one side at night, and you can tell which side I do and which side he does, because his side is a lot less bruised than mine is. So, but I met with a high-risk doctor because of my history with DVTs. I am a high-risk pregnancy. So the high-risk doctor really clarified it for me, and I was like, you know what? That makes sense. She's the one that explained it to me, because I never really understood it in the past why my blood clot was caused. Because me and medical, we don't get along. Like, I can't even tell you what like a healthy blood pressure rate is. It was like, oh, is that high or is that low? Is that good? Okay, cool, great. So she basically explained it to me that it's the extra estrogen. And I was like, you know what? That makes so much sense. So if we do decide to have a second, I should expect another blood clot. And so to prevent that, we'll just double up on my blood thinner again. So, and I will be on this blood thinner for pretty much my whole pregnancy up until my last month, where they want to start thickening up my blood again. And I'll switch to a different shot blood thinner that'll be twice a day, and I'll go back to 40, I think, after I give birth. But as long as I'm breastfeeding, I still have to be on Lovenox. So if I have the ability to breastfeed, I want to breastfeed. So next bullet point, morning sickness. I went through that. Not fun. My second trimester has been a little better, especially morning sickness wise. I'm still getting sick, but it's not as often. I tapped and gave into nausea medicine about a month ago, and we have another appointment with our OB in about 2 weeks, and I'm going to be asking for stronger stuff next time, because throwing up, it's just takes so much energy out of you, and I have not gotten my energy back. Steve and I say, like, during the week, I survive my week to be able to sleep on the weekends, and like, there's a point at work that I would need to stop during lunch and go take an hour or so nap in my car. And I don't really need that all the time right now, but I still do need an occasional nap. But that is pretty much my pregnancy. I think I'm starting to show. I don't know if you could tell from this side of the camera. but I am starting to show. So this is my one of my maternity wears that I ordered. There's not much room left in it. If I could pull it, like this is all that's left in this. So I might be ordering some different things here soon. But yeah, I'm starting to show. And I can't tell if I'm showing high for a girl or if I'm showing low for a boy, because I see it both ways. So whatever you think we're having, based off of if you can see that I'm showing or not, please let me know in the comments what you think we're having. But yeah, so that is my update, and I hope to bring you guys along more. Oh wait, one last update. We had our anatomy scan a couple weeks ago, and we have to go do it again because this baby would not participate. And I'm like, how do you not participate in a scan that's about you? So I will put our last baby photos here, but we haven't had a clear baby photo, so I have nothing to like really show you. All of them have been a blob or a very blurry blob. But at our ultrasound, baby showed us its left hand. I'm happy it's not flicking me off. Because this baby and I have been fighting so much, I wouldn't be surprised if it flicks me off coming out of me during the birthing process. But it showed us its 2 feet. So we have to go back and do our anatomy scan in a couple weeks. Hopefully I can bring you along for that. If not, I'll recap you when we're done. But yeah, that's everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I am trying to get the energy to come back and vlog again because I miss it. I really do. But yeah, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.